Alright, we're going to try to do this quick. I don't got a whole lot of battery. Leashes. Some folks is asking me about leashes, and some folks is having some trouble with their locks falling. Even though they got a good looking round loop, they're having trouble with their lock falling, and I'm going to share with you why that problem is. Now, my leash, which is cable extension, now a lot of people will use this right here. They'll put that on, they'll put this on, and then they'll button it up. That way, in their mind, they got plenty of swivel activity. Well, I hate to be the first to tell you, when you go around a tree, you go through here with it, and then you get your snare snared off to this thing. This snare, unless you make it really short, this is going to be wrapped around a tree somewhere, and you're not going to get 1 ounce of swivel ability, period. So unless this animal stays away from trees that's all over in the swamp, just accidentally stays away from them, you know, you won't get hung up, and this right here be some good to you. But most of the time, before it's over with, he's going to be wrapped around right up to his neck or within pretty close of his neck. So I don't use swivels. Now, I used to use swivels. I got tons of swivels in here, and if you use swivels, I'd be glad to sell you these. I just don't use them anymore. If you use them, that's fine. I'm just telling you how we do it. Okay, I'll pull this back down like that again, and then we're just gonna, that's it, that's all my leashes are. My leashes ain't nothing but a piece of cable about 4.5, 5 foot long with 2 loops on each end, that's it. This is my snare vest. I put my leashes on my left side, if you can see that or not. I got my leashes on my left, snares on my right, I got my support wire, and I got my lineman pliers. This right here pliers is a must. Not this particular pair, but you need to get you a pair of lineman pliers. By far is the best way to do it. Don't go to the woods undergunned on your pliers, especially if you're going to spend all day there. All we do is we wind these up, and I go 3 there, 1 here, and then that's the way I tote them on my carabiners. Same way I do my snares, the same way. Alright, now some people's had some trouble with getting their snare to fall. I'm fixing to go over that with you now. Excuse the mess, but it is a trap shop, and I know right where everything is, and it's mine. Alright, we're going to unwind this. We're going to pretend that this countertop right here is water height. Now, I cut off more wire probably than I need most of the time, simply because I'm there most of the time for about 14 days. Most of the time. So, I'm trapping for 14 days. In that time period, the water level can change dramatically. It can go up or it can go down depending upon rain. If you don't hear that popping and crinking, you ain't got it tight enough. Whether your tree's round or whether you put it to a 2x4, you should be hearing some popping sound. Alright, this is the leash All it does is go around, goes together. Bam, I'm done with that. I'm done with the leash, period. Now, for the snare, if I can find it, here it is. The snare goes together like this on this thing. Your leash loop goes through your snare loop. The business end of the snare goes back through the leash loop, just like so. I hope you got that. I don't know if you did or not. Hold on. Try to get right here in front of the camera. You can see the leash loop, snare loop. It's going to go right through here like that. And then your snare end, the snare loop, goes right through here. Nah, that's wrong. I got mixed up with my loop. Alright, let's try this again. Your leash loop goes through your snare loop, the non-business end. Then your actual snare loop goes through your leash loop. When you pull this down good and tight, you should have something that looks like this. Okay? Now you're ready to put your snare on your support. With a beaver snare needs to be from your pinky to your thumb. Okay? Now the reason I like to make this long, this is definitely not in the right place. That's too far from structure here. The beaver runs right here. You want to make sure you put this loop dead over the center of that. So it doesn't matter how you do it. It just needs to be like that. Okay? Your snare lock never needs to be up against your snare support. It should be down here. That way when the animal hits it, it will fall automatically. If you get it too far up here, you see that? It won't fall. You need to get it to where the cable is moving. And that way it'll fall like it should. That is why you're having problems, especially people that like to build the snare supports. They like to kick them up for whatever reason, which is fine. But if you got your lock there, it's never gonna fire. Never ever fire. You don't never need that thing pointing up. Straight out is good. I wouldn't point it down, but straight out is good. And keep it off about an inch, inch and a quarter. That way when the animal hits it, it'll do what it's supposed to do. But I hope that answers some questions. It's important to keep that lock away from your snare support. Always make sure that this is good and tight. If it moves and you ain't got good solid foundation for your snare to go on and function from, it's not going to fire right to begin with anyway. So